Hey y'all, and welcome to day 2 of our 31 Days of Shadow Work series. Again, I am Kendra, and I am so excited to have you here with me today for a second day. So, again, each day we are going to dive into a new prompt that's going to help you explore your shadows and enhance your healing journey. I hope that day 1 help you be more connected to where you're not showing up in your day-to-day life. So, today's prompt is all about connection. So remember, this is a safe space for self-discovery. So take time and be gentle with yourself. And let's get started. So today's prompt is, where do you feel most disconnected from your authentic self? So I wanted to do this prompt because a lot of us know who our authentic self is. We've seen our authentic self. We've connected with our authentic self before, but in our day-to-day life, we don't feel connected to our authentic self in our day-to-day life. So that is why I want you to answer this prompt. And as usual, I will go first. So for me, I feel most disconnected from my authentic self, being a single parent, to be honest, because my authentic self is just very free. She's very free. Like think of that rich auntie that travels whenever she wants to travel and does whatever she wants, whenever she wants to do it, however she wants to do it. Even there are even times where, because I'm a single parent, my son is always with me. There are times where I want to like run to the gas station at 1 o'clock in the morning. I cannot do that. And don't get me wrong, like of course, because my son is 5, so as he gets older, I will start gaining some of that freedom back to where I feel more connected to my authentic self. But reality is, I'm not gonna have more freedom until he gets older. So of course, once he gets older and I can leave him home alone, I can run to the gas station whenever I feel like, or when he gets a little older and I can like travel, and it's just easier to it's easy for him to stay with my sister, or it's easy for him to stay with my mom, or to stay with his grandparents, or like things like that. Because he's 5, so at 5 they just still require so much. And so I don't like, unless I have like my yearly work trip or like a birthday trip, I don't like leaving him for like long periods of time quite yet. So when he's 8, 9, 10, yes, I'm out of here. Your mama's gone for the week. See you next week, son. Do good in school, I call you. But for me, that's definitely going to be where I feel most disconnected from my authentic self, because my authentic self is definitely very free. She's definitely very much a type of woman that gets up and does whatever she wants each day. I like routines. I like boundaries. I like knowing what I'm going to do for the day. But I also like waking up at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm a nighttime creative. I've always been a night owl, but again, because I'm disconnected from my authentic self and I don't live a life where being a night owl is good for me, I have to go to bed, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I love to create late at night. I love to be up 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning working on programs, writing, creating content, doing things like that. Like that is what I love to do. But it just is not realistic for my lifestyle yet. And I say that to say, even as motivation for anybody watching, is that if you're a single parent too, and single parenthood feels like a restriction or a punishment for you right now, I want you to dig in and see how being a single parent is supporting your journey right now. And I want you to think about the future. Like for me, I already know that when my son gets older, I am going to have more freedom to do some of the things that I want that I don't do now because he's so young. So start thinking about that. Like start building that future, because when you're thinking about your authentic self, when you're thinking about your higher self, that person is usually in the future anyway. So start preparing yourself now. So, cause like for me, I'm not gonna wake up when my son is 10 and be like, oh my God, he's 10 now. What the fuck do I do? That's not gonna be me. He's gonna be 10 and I'm gonna be like, oh, I already have this trip booked to Africa. I already have this trip booked to Brazil. I already have this trip booked to the Maldives. I'm already going to be prepared for these experiences. So I want you to start thinking that way too. Even with whatever your answer is about where you feel most disconnected, if that disconnection is a realistic just lifestyle that is what it is right now, start preparing for that as you move as you get older. Even with my son, for him to be 5, he's very independent. And that has always been very big for me because parenting is hard. And for, you know, them first 2-3 years of parenting, you do everything for them. So once my son got, you know, got older, I was like, look, you got to start doing some of this shit. So even simple things like making sure he knows how to tie his shoes, making sure he knows how to get himself dressed, making sure he knows how to brush his teeth, wash his face, like helping him become more independent is me thinking about the future, because when he's 10 years old, I don't want him going to somebody's house and not being able to take care of himself at 10. When he goes to somebody else's house for a week because I'm traveling, he needs to be able to brush his teeth. He needs to be able to brush his hair. He needs to be able to make his bed and clean his room and straighten up, you know, his area. He needs to be able to do those things when he's 10. So I'm starting now. So wherever you feel most disconnected from your authentic self, I want you to start thinking about how you can start incorporating certain actions and behaviors and routines into your lifestyle now. So that way, when you are in a space when you can connect to your authentic self more, it'll be a lot easier. It'll be a smoother transition. It'll feel natural. It'll feel like alignment. It'll feel like, damn, yes, I went through this experience that disconnected me. But I'm like, now all of these actions are making it to where my connection is going to feel even more stronger. So I hope that you are enjoying and have enjoyed today's prompt. Please drop a comment and let me know what you think about today's prompt. Answer the prompt. Don't forget to join the Balanced Millennial Facebook group where you can discuss this in a more private space and with people who are more aligned and more like you. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see you again tomorrow for day 3.